Alright, what's up everybody? This is a video I actually did not even plan on making because I never thought it would actually happen, or at least anytime soon, but Paladins on the Nintendo Switch is actually getting discontinued later this year after June with this next update after it releases. We don't have a specific date for when it'll be discontinued yet, but they already closed the eShop and they prevented downloads and buying crystals and everything already on the Switch, unfortunately, so... Gonna be more of an important video. I'm gonna go over like the blog and everything that they put out, the shitty excuses and all that type of shit they tried to say. Kind of give us some things that they actually, like what they actually tried to do, if anything, if they actually even tried to fix the game on the Switch, and a bunch of other stuff. What this really means for the channel as well. So if you do care about the channel, I'd recommend watching or at least listening to the entire video. Not gonna be too much on screen. I'm just gonna be kind of reading the blog and throwing that on screen. I might just throw some gameplay or something in the background. So, apart from that, Switch confirmed at least earlier today. I didn't even know this until I actually woke up. This was actually last night at like midnight or like 2 a.m. or something crazy. They actually put this out. I'll throw it on screen for you guys right now. I'm gonna go through this first and foremost, and then I'll talk about a bunch of other stuff that has like stuff with this, and then something with the account linking a lot of people aren't even talking about, which I'll talk about as well. Sunsetting on the Nintendo Switch. Greetings, champions. A lot of discussion and thought across our team. We've made the difficult decision to end support for Paladins on Nintendo Switch. With the final update it receives being the next update that we got an update show for today, which is, at least I'm recording this, Midnight Masquerade. This choice wasn't made easily or without concern. However, we realized that the performance of our Switch port was not up to our community standards, and we were unable to provide support at a level our community deserves. Oh, really? We spent countless hours working on platform-specific problems. What problems were you working on? What problems were you spending countless hours working on and actually fixing? If any of the devs or anybody on the dev team or the community manager watches my videos, like, please enlighten everybody. I really would love to know. What else? Where was I? Oh, and dedicated ourselves to solutions as long as we could. What solutions did you guys actually do? You guys didn't fix anything. The game has been on the Switch for it was on the Switch since August 2018, and that's how long I've been playing the game as well. August 2018 up until probably gonna be like August 2023. What is that, 5 years? Pretty much 5 years. The game has been on the Switch for 5 years. If anything, the problems with the Switch actually got worse, and the game on the Switch got worse over time. The crashing got worse, the textures not loading at all anymore got worse, the freezing got worse. Like, what did you guys actually solve? I really don't even know. You guys didn't even solve anything. I don't think you solved a single problem with the platform and with the game on the platform. Where was I again? I keep losing track where I was. As a work done for Payload, which I'll admit they did make the game work on the Switch for Payload. It runs like shit, but they did get it to work on the Switch. I don't know how they did it, but they actually did. However, this has caused frequent challenges that prevent Paladins from being the best game it could be. I think the main problem with the game itself is that it's on a really old engine. I think what they need to do is just build the game from the ground up. I think the only thing that's preventing the game from being the best it could be is hi-rez itself, the dev team itself, and the poor spaghetti code, and the people that have rotated in and out of the studio over the last 6-7 years. I think that's the real thing that's holding the game back. And the game is going to be held back until it probably dies due to those reasons. Which is really unfortunate, but it's the truth. This shift allows us to better focus on other platforms Paladins is on, as well as have more flexibility in how we deliver updates to players. We will continue to support Paladins on Switch until the release of the following update in June, from which point the game will be inaccessible on the Nintendo Switch. Which I don't know when. Are they going to drop the update and then the Switch player is not going to even be able to play the next update? Because it says once the update drops in late June, it'll be inaccessible. So does that mean it will be no longer downloadable from the eShop, or is there like a specific time to where the Switch players can still play the next update, but there's like a cutoff point to where the game will never work anymore after that, with like the next update after the Masquerade update? I don't know what they really mean. I wish they would clarify. Because if the next update goes live and then the Switch players aren't allowed to play the new update, then I don't know why they would say that it's still going to be supported on past that. So, as of April 19th, Paladins and its DLC are no longer available in the eShop, and all in-game purchases on the Switch will cease. If you're a Switch player and wish continuing to playing Paladins in the future, we highly recommend utilizing hi-rez account linking to pick up your progress where you left off on PC or Xbox. Notice how they say that they don't say PlayStation, because anybody that has a PlayStation is shit out of luck, because they don't have cross progression, which sucks for a lot of Switch players that only have PlayStation as their only other console, so they're fucked again. For more information, whatever. We're aware that there's another announcement in a string of large-scale changes Paladins has experienced this year, so we want to reassure our community that we will still fully intend to support Paladins on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, starting with the update slated for June, following the Midnight Masquerade. Stay tuned for more info on that update and the Switch sunset from our social. So I'm assuming we're going to be getting like a specific like day when it's not going to work anymore. I'm assuming some other info in the future they don't know yet. Once again, we appreciate every Paladins and player and understand this is a disappointment to many. However, we feel is the best path forward to ensure Paladins can continue to improve. Continue to improve. Okay, if you think so, if you think it'll improve by getting rid of one of your platforms that you didn't give a shit about anyways, I guess, and provide all players a good experience moving forward, apart from the Switch players, because the majority of them won't be able to play the game anymore. Now, there's some major problems with this. The first thing is, let's actually go back. I'm actually going to the blog, because a lot of people aren't talking about this as well. They actually updated the account linking and cross progression fact for the everything that's going to be happening with the Switch players and stuff. So I'll throw that on screen for you guys right now. Linking online. Players can be linked their accounts with a hi-rez account, which I don't actually even know how it even works on Switch. Is your hi-rez account like the same account as your Nintendo account, like with the same info? I don't know how that even works. Or do I have to like make an entire like hi-rez account and then try to link my Nintendo Switch account to that? I don't even know how that works. Which I don't know if I'll even do that anyways, because I don't know if I'll play the game on PC, which I'll talk about in a little bit as well. But once logged in, click the links account button, whatever. I'm not going to talk about it. Here's the thing that nobody's talking about right here. Info on the Nintendo Switch sunset. Previously, Paladins was available on the Switch, however, it is no longer as of June 2023. For players who primarily played on Switch, we encourage you to link an Xbox account or ensure your Switch account is linked to play on those platforms. And here's the other thing that they don't actually tell you. Right here, nobody is talking about this. What will happen to my Crystal total after I link my accounts? Crystals owned on PC and any remaining on Nintendo Switch are only to be used on those platforms. Crystals bought on Xbox are able to be used all across platforms. So the one thing people ain't talking about is even if you do link your account like an Xbox, or I guess not an Xbox, but like a PC account, is all the crystals that you currently have on your Nintendo Switch account will not actually carry over. And you will not be able to use them on a PC account. You will only be able to use them on a Nintendo Switch account. And I'm pretty sure they're going to disable the... Well, for sure they're going to disable the game, so you won't be able to buy anything at a certain point. But you can no longer buy crystals on the Switch, so if you want to buy something and you don't have crystals anymore, then you're just kind of fucked. So I at least for me, like I have like 3,000 crystals right now. At least I think something around 3,000. I've just been saving up from daily logins and trials with the realm and all that shit over the last like 2 years. So if I would actually link my account to a PC account, I would not even be able to use my crystals. How fucking scummy is that? How scummy is it that they could just legit say that the currency you bought and the currency you earned with real money most of the time. I know there's ways to get it in-game free, but like the majority of it's paid for with real money for most people. You cannot use that if you link it to a PC account, and only on Xbox for whatever reason that is. Not many people are talking about this. I'm telling you guys right now, nobody's talking about this. So those of you people that are actually on Switch and you guys want to link to a PC account, I don't know if this means just waste all your crystals before you link your account to a PC account later on this year. Or if you just try to save your crystals and get more clarification or see what they're going to do, I don't know. At least for me, I don't know what I'm going to do either. I don't even know if I'm going to link my account to a PC account, but I don't know. Just kind of really weird. Another major thing I'm going to talk about is the people that think that this is actually a good thing for all the other consoles. I don't know if you guys realize that the people, I don't know what it is with people that just hate Switch players and hate the Switch platform and the console or whatever it is. I see so many people on Twitter especially that are like legit shilling and like sucking off hi-rez for some reason. I don't know if they're being paid or if they're like defenders or whatever they are of like this happening to the Switch players. The Switch players, a lot of people don't like estimate that they're that much of like a player base, but like with the Switch players actually being excluded after this next patch, the player base for this game is going to drop significantly. A lot of people don't expect that there's a lot of Switch players, but the Switch players are still a really hefty amount of players for this game, considering this game is legit dying. And it's some of the lowest player numbers we've had like in years up until now. And you get rid of the Switch players on top of that, the majority of which are not going to link an account or go out of their way to buy a new console just to play a shitty game and will no longer be able to play anymore. That's more players and that's less money they're going to be making, and that is going to be less players overall in the long run. So if you think it is somehow better that the Switch players are no longer allowed to play and it's being discontinued for an entire platform, then I really don't know where you're getting that from, because that means less money for the studio, first and foremost. They're already running on a skeleton crew. We just got one of the worst update shows, at least earlier today. If you guys missed it, go check it out. It should be live on the channel whenever you see this. For the Midnight Masquerade. It is legit 3 skins and a mount that is a recolor. That is all the skins we are getting for an entire update. And 5 or 6 balance changes. And that is legit an entire update. If you think it is somehow going to be more beneficial in the future for not having Switch players, like having them like with the player base anymore, like I really don't know where you're coming from. I really don't. If you think the game is going to improve, the game has not improved in like 4 or 5 years. The game was better 5 years ago, actually, if I'm being 100% real. The game was better 5 years ago. It really was. If you think the game is going to improve because the Switch players are getting discontinued and you won't have to deal with them and they can build the game to not have to cater to the Switch players, or if you think the Switch is a weak console, which is a lot of people think it's a weak console and it's an old, outdated console. Here's something I want to say as well. If you think the Switch is a weak console and you think it's being held back by the console it's on and not by the devs and the makers of the game, why don't you go check out Apex Legends and Fortnite? And there's a bunch of other free-to-play games, well, even Overwatch 2. Overwatch 2 has a bit, like, every time you, like, log into the game, the only problem that it has is it lags a little bit at the start of, like, every match when you first play a game for the first time after, like, loading up the game. After that, the game runs flawlessly, and that's only for, like, 2 seconds. Apex Legends, absolutely flawless. Runs perfectly, barely ever crashes or freezes. Mainly it's just server problems is usually the main thing with Apex Legends. Fortnite, the game runs absolutely flawlessly, it looks great. Like, I don't understand it. Fortnite actually had crashing problems on release back in I think it was, what, 2019 or whenever they got put onto the Switch. They had crashing problems as well when the game was actually put onto the Switch for the first 2 weeks. I know they have a bigger dev team and a bigger budget, but back then they weren't even nearly as big as they are now. Fortnite was just kind of on the way up. It wasn't even as big as it is. And they happened to fix it, and within 2 weeks they put out a patch that fixed all the crashing and all the freezing problems for the Switch players. You cannot tell me with a straight face that the reason why they cannot fix the game for a Switch and why they're discontinuing it is because of the console. It's a shitty console, or it's too old, or can't run these type of games. It is the same thing with Smite. Rogue Company was playable, but it wasn't really that good. It was worse than Paladins was, because it was constantly lag and freezing, and it would just keep crashing over and over on certain maps. But an audio issue was really bad audio problems. But like, I don't know. I know somebody's gonna say that. I know that because, but like, it is legit not the console's fault. It is not. It is legit the build and the game's fault. Well, let's just look at some of the stuff. Let's talk about some of the stuff they tried to do to actually fix the Switch. Fix it for the Switch players. What did they actually try to do? If you guys can help me with this as well, let me know in the comments down below, any other fellow Switch players. What did they try to do? The only thing I remember them actually doing was about, like, I think 6 months after they released the game on the Switch back in like 2019, they got rid of the 30-second clip feature, thinking it would actually fix the freezing and the crashing problems. And it actually didn't do anything. So they pretty much disabled the 30-second clip feature, and it never fixed anything, and then we just never got it back. What was another thing they thought was causing the crashing problems? Oh yeah, top play. They got rid of top play. They thought that was a major crashing problem for Switch players mainly, and for even other consoles. They got rid of top play, and look what happened. What happened? Drum roll, please. Nothing got fixed. The game still crashed like mad, and if not, it actually crashed worse in the future. It got worse as the time went on. I think the game didn't even crash nearly as much back in like 5 years ago when it was put onto the Switch than it does now in 2023. You cannot even get into a game. The first game you play after loading in, you are guaranteed to crash on the way into the game. It never used to be like that back 5 years ago, even like 3 years ago. Apart from that, I don't know what else they actually did. They did something with payload to make payload work on the Switch, but that was something internally. I don't think there was anything that was even like revealed publicly about that. But it was probably something that was just really lazy and half-assed, just to basically just like slap it together and put a couple band-aids on it to make it work temporarily. I don't know. If there's anything else I'm forgetting, if any other Switch players that play on the Switch, if there was anything else that they tried to do for to try to fix the game for the Switch, and either for the textures, the freezing, or the crashing, anything to try to fix that I did not mention or I did not remember, at least right now, let me know in the comments down below, or let everybody know. But I don't know. And another thing too is like, is everybody gonna get refunds? Like, are we gonna be getting refunds? Because I don't know. I have 6,500 fucking hours into the game, and I've spent like, I know I've spent for a fact over $100+ over the game for like over the last like 5 years. Not really too much recently, like the last 2.5 years, because I knew the game was kind of going downhill, and I haven't really been putting any money into the game. But when I first started playing, I was spending a decent amount of money on the game because I actually really enjoyed the game. Little did I know it was ever going to come to this point, but I don't know, are we ever going to get a refund, or are we just going to have to say goodbye to a bunch of money that we put into a game, and now that's being discontinued by a bunch of incompetent devs that are just too lazy and actually refuse to actually fix the game for an entire platform. And this is, keep in mind as well, hi-rez discontinued Rogue Company and Paladins now, but Smite, the piece of fucking garbage shit Smite that is legit unplayable on the Nintendo Switch, is somehow still on the Switch and has not got discontinued yet, at least as of this video. How is that game allowed to be on the Switch, but Paladins that is at least somewhat playable? Don't get me wrong, it's pretty bad on the Switch, and this is coming from somebody that has 6,500 hours into the game and streams the game and makes videos and content on the game constantly. It's pretty bad, but like, it's still playable. Smite is legit unplayable. You cannot play the game on Switch. It just crashes constantly and freezes every single time. I might even have some like gameplay I'll throw in the background at some point in this video, because I have a bunch of Smite gameplay I was going to throw into a video, and I might as well use it for this, because I don't think I'll ever be making that one now. Of, like, the game freezing or a bunch of other, like, random shit crashing over and over and that type of thing. I know I have a bunch of fucking clips somewhere. I'll probably throw them into the video. I don't know how is that allowed on the Switch, but Paladins gets discontinued before Smite does. I don't know. Also, a bunch of other people. I know I'm not the only other person that plays on the Switch. If you're somebody that plays on the Switch and you're the only console you can play on the Nintendo Switch is Paladins, I got a couple good games that would actually be great to actually try out that are actually free-to-play games that actually give a fuck about their player bases, whether they're Nintendo Switch players, PC players, Mac players, Android users, whatever they may be. They actually care about their platforms and their player base that are actually free to play. If you guys have them, I mean, it depends on what kind of like games you do like, but at least for me, like free to play games, if you want a game that's similar to Paladins, play Overwatch. Overwatch 2 on the Switch runs flawlessly, apart from a little stuttering and lag apart on like startup in your first match. Apart from that, it runs flawlessly. Never crashes, never freezes, mainly just server problems sometimes. Apex Legends. If you guys have not played Apex Legends on the Switch, and if you're a Switch player that's looking for something else to play, Apex Legends on the Switch is absolutely fucking great. It is legit probably my favorite game over the past year. The updates are great. They actually fixed the game for Switch. There were some problems with the game actually freezing on the Switch recently with this current season. They actually put out a bug patch about a week afterwards that actually fixed it. For the Switch players, I know it's crazy. They actually fixed the game for Switch players. The game doesn't really crash. It doesn't freeze at all. If you guys like Battle Royale type games, I'd say Apex Legends is the best one for Switch, free to play. Or Fortnite as well. I don't have any Fortnite gameplay, but you get a bunch of other free-to-play games on Switch as well. Omega Strikers is actually going to be on the Switch here. Depending on when you guys are seeing this video, it might already be out, but it's actually scheduled to release officially on the Switch and all other platforms, including mobile, on April 27th. It's a free-to-play 3v3, I don't know what you actually like call it, but 3v3 like air hockey. Pretty much like air hockey with like people with like characters that have abilities. So like pretty much same thing as like Paladins and Overwatch, but just instead of like a team-based game with like an objective, it's air hockey. You can actually like do damage to people, and you have abilities, and you have different type of roles, that type of thing. Kind of difficult to explain because it's a new game and there's no gameplay of it, and I haven't played it or anything. But I will be streaming it on the channel. If you guys do want to stay tuned to the channel, I will be streaming this later this week or later next week, and maybe making content for the game. Apart from that, there might be some other stuff I forgot to mention. I don't know, but there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about. I just can't hit it all off the top of my head. But apart from that, those of you guys that are still here for the Paladin stuff, I actually really want you guys' input on what I should actually do. Do you guys think it's worth to try to actually link an account to a PC account? And do you guys know if it's actually possible to actually hook up a controller to a PC and play with a Nintendo Switch controller on a PC account? Because I'm not 100% sure about that, if it actually work and what I actually need. And do you guys think it actually is worth linking a Switch account to a PC account? Do you guys would you guys actually watch if I actually tried to learn the game on PC? Or do you guys think it's worth actually continuing to play the game after this? Or do you guys think I should just move on and find something else to play and move on to greener pastures, because the game is dying, which it's been dying for the last couple of years, but up until this point it hasn't been as worse as it's ever been up until now. So especially with this next update, the Masquerade update, with like pretty much no content. It has legit 4 skins and that's about it. It's not really content. That's not going to keep anybody interested in the game, including me. I don't know how you guys feel about that. I will also, when this video goes live, shortly after this video goes live, I'll actually have a community poll up on the channel. If you're a Nintendo Switch player, let me know if you're going to keep playing the game, if you're going to link an account, or you're going to quit playing entirely. On the poll, I'm probably going to have a poll up of, like, if you're a Switch player, like, whatever you're going to be. If you're going to be continuing with the game, or if you're going to be linking an account and still trying to play on PC or a different console, or just, like, not playing at all entirely. please let me know. I would really like to see that feedback, to see how many Switch players actually play the game, and how many are actually going to stay playing the game after the game goes dead on the Switch and that still play, or the ones that are just going to be moving on to other stuff, whether it's Overwatch or anything else. I don't know. If you guys want some like really good like I wouldn't say free games, but if you guys actually have money to spend on games too, if you guys want 2 really good recommendations, Splatoon 3 is great game, and then Pokemon Scarlet and Violet's really good as well if you guys like those type of games. I've been playing a shit ton of those. Those are Nintendo games though, those are for Switch, they aren't free to play. I'm sure a lot of people already knew about those, or already have those games. At least most Nintendo Switch players at least have one of those. But I just thought I'd throw those in there as well as some more ideas. Apart from that, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Honestly, it's an absolute shame. It really is. I never thought the game would actually be getting discontinued before Smite, of all things. I thought Smite would be the first game that they would actually discontinue out of all the hi-rez games on the Switch, because it was legit, like, unplayable. It is legit unplayable on the Switch. But then they started with Rogue Company. I was like, oh man, Paladins might be getting discontinued any time now. I said that in the Rogue Company video I uploaded like a week or 2 ago, and what happened? Like legit a week later, Paladins gets discontinued, and it's going to be getting discontinued in past June or like July or whatever it is, so I don't know. I'm going to keep on doing Paladin stuff up until this point, y'all. I'm not going to stop doing Paladin stuff now, but I'm going to keep on doing it and covering the game up until as far as I can. Up until that point, I might have like a final stream. We'll go out with like one big hurrah as well. Towards that date, I don't know when that actually is going to be, when the game's going to be shutting down, but like a couple days or something, we'll have like a crazy like 4 or 5 hour stream on the Switch. Just having like one final stream of the game a couple months from now, whenever that may be. So apart from that, nothing's really going to be changing for the short term, but for the long term, I'm not sure what's going to be going on. So that's what I want you guys to input. Like I said, should I keep on playing the game, and should I try to keep playing the game, especially on PC? I'm not going to go buy an entire new console. That's not possible, because I just don't have that kind of money. Nor do I want to do that for a shitty game that does not care about anything apart from money. They don't give a shit if you're a player or not. They just want your greenbacks. That's all they really want. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you're here for the Paladin stuff, like I said, I will be still doing Paladin stuff for the foreseeable future until this eventually does end. And then I'm not sure what's going to be going on right now. I'll keep you guys updated. But at least for right now, for the short term, for the next like 2.5, 3 months, nothing's really going to be changing, with at least for Paladins content. So I might add a couple games. I might add like Omega Strikers and a few other things onto the channel, just as like other stuff, if in case I do decide to move on. But at least for right now, nothing's going to be changing, but I would really love some input on what I should do going forward and what you guys really want to see and that type of thing. So, but apart from that, this video is way too long. This video is a way too long a video. I apologize, y'all. But there's a lot to talk about. I didn't even talk about everything, actually. There's a lot of other shit I didn't even talk about. I probably end up either adding to the video even more, or like just putting it in the description or the comments, or somebody will bring it up and I'll go on a huge rant in the comments. I don't know. But apart from that, thanks for watching, everybody. RIP Switch players. Us Switch players, we got screwed again, y'all. If you're a fellow Switch player, I'm with you, you guys. I think I'm like the only like Switch player content creator on YouTube, and I am not even going to be able to play the game anymore. So after all I've did for the game over the last couple years, this is how I get repaid. How we get repaid. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's for the better. I don't know. Maybe it could be a blessing in disguise, but I don't know, us fellow Switch players, I feel for you guys, I really do. We always get shit on, we always get just absolutely just shit on by everybody, we're always ridiculed, I don't know, we get shit on by a bunch of games. I don't know. Apart from that, I'm gonna get out of here. Thanks for watching, everybody. Leave a like, subscribe if you are new. If you want to keep up to the channel. I also do a stream live, I stream Splatoon 3, Apex, Overwatch 2, I'll be streaming Omega Strikers this next week. A bunch of other stuff, so if you guys don't want to miss that. And Paladins for the foreseeable future. Subscribe and share the video. Really appreciate it. I'm gonna get out of here. Peace out, everybody.